This morning, I am happy to introduce to you my mentor through my ordination process and beyond, Rev Carol Willis. She teaches here and brings her own life experiences and knowledge to her sermons and her teachings. She spent most of her life in the Unity faith and was ordained a minister here in 2015. I got it right. She is a fellow Beatle fan, and I would like to have you all help me welcome to the podium Reverend Carol Willis.
Thank you, Reverend Lisa.
You're welcome. Those are someone's sunglasses.
Somebody's, okay.
Yeah.
No, they're not mine. I'm just gonna move them for a minute. I feel like they were left here by one of the Blues Brothers or something.
Yes.
Some of you remember recently when Patty Shaw was here doing a class on Akashic Records. And she and her sister Jackie Smith have written this book called Akashic Wisdom, Do It Yourself. And some of the ideas for today's lesson have come from this publication. And it's a pretty good read, and I'm in the process of reading it, but I'm not totally done with it, so. Okay. So if you haven't already figured out, we're going to talk a little bit about angels today, and my title is Angels Among Us. Some of you may be as curious as I am about beings that live in realms other than the earth. We read about master beings, master teachers, saints, spirit guides, and even angels, and probably more beings than I have even named. Today, I would like to share some ideas about angels, archangels, their helpers, and earth angels. There are probably 5 archangels that are commonly known to us. There are more than these 5, but I'm just going to talk about these 5 because we know them the best. And these archangels can join us in our Akashic Records room. If you read Patty and Jackie's book, they will give you suggestions on how you can recognize them when they come. Also, they help us if we ask them directly in prayer or meditation, and their job is to serve God by serving humankind. Each archangel has a certain gift to share, and each angel has helpers that support him or her. So let's look at these 5 main archangels. The first one is Metatron. He is the leader of the archangels, and he sends us the perfect helpers. His main function is to bring order to chaos by giving us direction and purpose. So he's kind of like the coach of the team. Are you okay, Rose? Okay. The second one is Michael. Michael is our protector. His main function is to clear away anything created by fear that is blocking our expression of the divine. He also goes into our past and retrieves the parts of us that we've left behind because of emotional and mental wounds. He brings those parts into our present as healed, so we no longer suffer because of those experiences. Number 3 is Raphael. Raphael is the healer and performs all types of healing: mental, emotional, physical, and spiritual, for us and others. Number 4 is Gabriel. Gabriel's main function is to bring new revelations and gives a deeper understanding of how the divine is working in the world and in our personal life. Remember, it was Gabriel who came to Mary to announce she had been chosen by God to be the mother of Jesus. And we read Gabriel and Michael are both mentioned many times in the Bible. The last one is Uriel, and Uriel is part of my personal team. Uriel is the angel of light, knowledge, and wisdom. Uriel's main function is to bring the light of truth to experiences of darkness and confusion. He is a curse breaker, loosens karmic ties, and reveals possible solutions to resolve conflicts. The archangels are working on our behalf along with their helpers to bring forward the divine and spiritual truth. And another thing to remember is if you call angelic help for some reason, like sometimes I will do that if I'm praying for someone that has a health situation. Each group of angels has a main function. But if you call them away from their main function, they will come because you called them. And it's their job to serve God by serving humankind. So they will come, even if it's not really their job to do what you ask them to do, they will come. Another angel in its own category is the guardian angel. Each of us has one watching over us from the time we were born. I've heard many stories about people and their experiences with their guardian angel. Reverend Marie used to tell a story about being saved from drowning by her guardian angel. In Psalm 91:11, it says, "For he has given his angels charge over you to keep you in all your ways." Metaphysically, angels are said to be messengers of God. An example is when the angel came to the shepherds to announce the birth of Jesus. Then a whole choir of angels appeared and burst into song. That was a big announcement. And so I want, before I move on with my talk, I'd like for us to take just a minute to close our eyes. And I'd like to call in everybody's guardian angel. To be with each of us in our own way. And I'm going to ask them to place their wings around you gently and lovingly, and to let you know that they are there. And when you feel that their embrace and you've enjoyed their embrace, then let's open our eyes. It's a good reminder to us that they are always there and that they have our back. There are some people who claim to see angels, to see feathers floating in the air, to hear the rustle of wings, or hear their heavenly music, and even more experiences with angels. Sometimes people actually see them. My personal experience was during an energy treatment. I was on a chiropractic treatment bed, and a practitioner was giving me an energy treatment. And during the treatment, she said to me, Archangel Michael is here and wants your permission to do soul retrieval. And I said, what does that mean? And she said, well, he wants to go back into your past and bring forward parts of you that were left behind. And soul retrieval has to do with if you've had any kind of mental or emotional wounds, you leave a part of yourself with those experiences, which means really you've come forward and there are parts of you that are still hanging out there that need to be healed. And so he will go and capture those and bring it forward. And when he brings it forward, they're healed and they're given back to you so that you can again become a whole person. And so that happened. And then a little later in the treatment, I was laying there, my eyes were closed, and all of a sudden I just saw white over me. And I thought, what the heck is that, you know? And then all of a sudden, the white kind of moved back a little bit and came into focus. And it was this being in white, and then the wings unfurled out to the sides, and it flew over me for the longest time. And its garment was waving and its wings were waving like it was flying through the wind. And I was kind of like, it was a wow moment. I just laid there and I kept looking at this angel and I thought, wow, this has never happened to me before. I don't know what's going on, but I'm not going to resist this. I'm just going to be open to this. And obviously it's necessary and important, or this angel would not be here. So when the treatment was over, I shared this with the practitioner. And she said, well, that accounts for why you started to get really warm. I said, okay. And she said, you know, it happens. And she said, it's not a problem, but you know, I could tell when that was happening because you were getting warm and getting heat. I said, cool. So we know there are angels on the invisible planes that come to serve us. However, we also have earth angels, and we all have them. And so they are on the physical plane. Some of them are well known, like Mother Teresa, Martin Luther King, Jesus, Buddha, Danny Thomas, who founded St. Jude's, all kinds of people. They are literally the hands and the feet of God. Just like we are the hands and feet of God, every one of us. That's how God finds expression on the earth, is through our hands, our feet, our voice, our actions. So there are famous people that are earth angels, but what about the ordinary, regular person, like you and me? Like the school bus driver who did the Heimlich maneuver on a little girl who was choking on a mass of phlegm stuck in her throat. And she saved her. Little girl had allergies, and she had this big ball of phlegm stuck in her throat, and she started to choke. The bus driver jumped off, and she had just exited the bus. So the bus driver jumped off the bus and gave her the Heimlich and saved her life. Or the police officer who gives CPR to a baby who stopped breathing. Or our first responders who show up in such dangerous situations to help save us. Or there's an angel who orders groceries to be delivered to our house because we can't get out to the grocery store. Or maybe there's an earth angel that shovels your snow. When I had my eyesight problems and couldn't drive, I had an earth angel order groceries from Meijer to be delivered to my house. And not only did that person take care of ordering the groceries and making sure they got delivered, that person paid for those groceries as a gift. And when I think about some of these things, it really makes me want to cry. I almost want to pull at Reverend David here. There are endless examples of earth angels, and I, for one, have been blessed over and over and over by them. It just seems like they pick up on what my need is, and they're willing to take care of it. I had an occasion to see someone the other day that I used to work with. I was up at Ferndale City Hall mailing on some letters, and he came by, and I haven't seen him for several years, but I called out to him, and he came over to the car, and we were kind of chatting, and he asked me how I was, and I said, "How are you doing?" He said, "Well, I'm not having a very good day because I just got a text that my brother is in ER in Texas." And he said, "I'm concerned." And so when he leaned into the car to give me a hug to say goodbye, I gave him a little extra love transfusion to help him stay calm and deal with that. Sometimes we make a big effort or a small effort, but we make the effort because we're expressing God's love. It's our essence. It's who we are. And we can't help being who we have been created to be. It's our divine nature. One of the wonderful things that we often see and hear about on the news is earth angels coming together in times of tragedy to help. Whether it's storms, tornadoes, fires, whatever it is. Even those people that get in the boat and start looking for pets that have been separated from their families, or people trapped up on top of a roof. What would we do without our earth angels? Gandhi said, "Be the change you want to see in the world." Earth angels are change agents. They bring forward God's love. And if we're going to be the change we want to see in the world, being an earth angel is a great place to start. Be aware of opportunities to be love in action. And that's really what it's about. Allowing the love that you are and out of which you have been created to come forward, to bless and to heal. And to remind us that we are all one. We're all connected. And so in helping others, we also help ourselves. And the final thought is, by being love in action, you will bless and you will be blessed in return. God bless you all. Thank you for listening this morning. Happy Earth Angeling.
Thank you.